So I had kind of an interesting conversation with a couple of students today about how do you, like as a high school student, how do you challenge your friends when they are saying things that are racialized or racist, and try to maintain that friendship. And as I was talking to them and then just sitting with it myself, it's a really difficult thing for high school students to do. I don't think I've given it enough appreciation of just how difficult it is to be at an age and in a place where conformity and you know toe in the line of what is in and what's out is so prevalent that how difficult it would be to have that conversation. But I'm also extremely grateful that a student feels strongly enough about it that they want to say something and that they reached out for some help on that. And I just think that you know it's something to be very aware of as we have conversations as a staff. That the adults are really taking the responsibility, the force of having those conversations and establishing that culture at school. But yeah, no, the conversations still need to happen amongst your friend groups. And sometimes that means you're going to lose friends. And that's a really hard thing to put out to somebody who's in high school, where that really matters, right? Like that's their world. The scope of their world is the people that they hang out with in their friend group. And so, I think it's easy for me now looking back to say, oh yeah, like just say what's on your mind and stand up for what you believe in and to damn the consequences, whatever, to hell with it all. But I think it's a lot more difficult to do when you're young and when you're that age. But it's still worthwhile. It's still important to do. I just think that we need to be very real when we're having conversations with students about interrupting racism, that there are consequences and those are really difficult to weigh. But as a person who is white, I believe it is our responsibility to have those uncomfortable conversations. I also kind of, we're having the conversation, I pointed out the fact that the people who seem to be having the most tension and discomfort in a friend group where these things are taking place are those that want to say that it's wrong. And I don't understand that. Like, it's usually people who are empathetic and caring, and they want to avoid having tension with people, which is great. But then, like, they absorb all the tension themselves, and they sit in that. And so, just I think it's hard. It's always easier to do it yourself. It's easier to take a stand for on your own and say, this is what I believe in, and this is, what I think is right, and take that stand publicly. It's a lot different to challenge a classmate or a peer or a friend or a colleague or a boss, who is perpetuating things that go against your belief system. And so it was just a good reminder for me to always remember just how difficult these conversations can be and what's at stake for those that are willing to stand for what is right, because it does come home. It does affect your relationships. And a lot of people would discount that and say, oh, you shouldn't be losing friendships or relationships over, political beliefs or things like that. And that's where I go back to, like, this isn't about political beliefs. I can be friends with conservatives, liberals, libertarians, whatever it may be. It's not about that perspective. It's about, is your values dehumanizing other people? If your value set dehumanizes other people, then I'm not sure that's a friendship that I want to maintain. But that's a really hard conversation to have in high school. So anyway, just some wonderings and thinking out loud. And we're coming up on day 100 pretty soon. I don't know. I might think of something special for that. But we'll see you next time.